Hi everyone, I'm Ash and today I've got another tactics video for you. In this video I'll be showing you how to replicate Ange Postecoglu's Tottenham Hotspur Tactics in FC24. So with that being said, roll the intro and let's get into it. Thank you very much for joining me everyone today. In this video we're going to go through the position changes, the tactics and the player instructions, and I've also got an attacking game plan to show you as well. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Well, with the formation itself, you got a couple of position changes. First things first, you want to make sure that Udogie and Porro in this case are at wing back. I've moved Udogie in more narrow because I've noticed that is starting to have an effect in the gameplay. Then with Sarr and Basuma, you want Sarr at central defensive midfield, but then you want Basuma at left central midfield. That's very important indeed. And then of course you want to make sure that Johnson and Kulusevski in this case are on the wing. So next we move on to the tactical instructions, but before we do that I quickly want to say, if you want to see how this tactic ranks and rates compared to all of the other systems that we've done, then check out my Patreon. The link is down below because there you can get access to my FC24 tactics package with rankings and ratings, likes and dislikes and suitable teams of players for every system that we cover, as well as exclusive tactics videos that you'll only find on Patreon, Discord server access, behind the scenes videos and a whole lot more. A great way to support the channel, and a huge thank you to all of my wonderful patrons for continuing to support me. Tactically, we have press after possession loss for the defensive style. Team width is on 20 and then the depth pushed all the way up to 90, giving you a high block. Build-up play is slow build-up, allowing you to play out from the back and players will drop off for it. And then the chance creation is forward runs with their high kind of fluidity and high volume of movement that you'll find as they try and penetrate the opposition. The width is on 60, stretching out a little bit wider, and then the players in the box is up to 7. Corners of free kicks, both of these are on 4. Instructions wise, starting off with the keeper, we've got him on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. With the two centre backs, no changes, and then with the full backs, you've got a couple of differing roles. With Udogie, he's playing more of that inverted fullback. So in this case, we've got his run type on inverted, and his attacking runs are just on balanced in this case to make sure that he's not constantly getting forward. The best way to replicate that inverted fullback is what I've found early on in this gameplay. With Porro on the other side, we've got him on join the attack and overlap. Then with Sarr at defensive midfield, you want to make sure his defensive behaviour is cut passing lanes, and then his attacking port is stay back whilst attacking. Defensive position is cover wing, position freedom stick to position. Basuma playing as that left central midfielder, remember, his attacking support is unbalanced, his support on crosses is getting to the box for the cross. Positioning freedom, stick to position, defensive position is cover wing. Now with Madison at attacking midfield, you've got to make sure he's on comeback on defence to get him tracking back, and his support on crosses is getting to the box for the cross. Now most importantly though, his positioning freedom is free roam. You'll notice how deep he drops to show for the ball sometimes. He likes to kind of drop into deeper pockets to pick up the ball and spread it from there, but he will also get forward, and that's how forward runs helps you in that regard. With Kulusevski on right wing, we've got him on comeback on defence. His chance creation is cut inside, and his support runs are on balance because he's not always looking to run in behind. Sometimes he does show for the ball a little bit deeper, and he likes to kind of drive forward with the ball. And then support on crosses is getting to the box with a cross. With Brennan Johnson on the handover on the left, sometimes it's Solomon playing this role as well. We've got him on comeback on defence. This time his chance creation is stay wide. He stretches out the play as Udogie often likes to invert a little bit more. And then his support runs are on get in behind. His support on crosses is getting to the box for the cross. With Heung-min Son up front, his support runs are on drift wide. We notice how he likes to come into those half spaces and half channels a little bit more. Whether it's him or Richarlison, they both like to kind of do that. And then attacking runs is getting behind as they look to kind of run in behind the defensive line. Defensive support is stay forward. Now I mentioned there's also an attacking game plan for when they're really trying to press the game, something I noticed early on against Sheffield United when of course they were behind and had to kind of push late on. Defensive positions or positions in general stay the same, it's just the actual tactical instructions that change. This time the defensive style goes up to constant pressure. The width is on 30 and then the depth is on 100. They really employ a kind of relentless press when they are trying to push the game. The width is still on 60, players in the box now goes up to 8, and in corners of free kicks, both of these are on 4. No changes to the player instructions. So moving on to the tips section of the video, in which I'll give you some tips to get the best out of the tactic and make sure that it's at its most effective. Tip number 1 is when you are attacking, I think you should target the left side. The reason why is that you have the likes of Basuma, Udogie, Johnson, Madison, Son all out there drifting out wide. You have a nice balance and variety of roles, whereas over on the right side, obviously you've got Sarr there, who's more of a defensive midfielder. It's generally obviously kind of Porro and Kulusevski. On the left side, you've got more going for it, and it's something you'll notice in my gameplay as well, where I really targeted and had a lot more joy when going down the left hand side. Tip number 2, when you have the ball in possession with the centre backs, you may notice that a lot of the team has pushed up. This is of course due to the roles and the fact that we've got wing backs in here, and obviously there's a lot of space. They push all the way up. What you want to do is you want to press RB or R1 depending on the console you're on, and what this will do is it will bring the player closer to you. It will call for support. If you press it multiple times, it will bring multiple players closer to you, so they're not as isolated. So that's how you're going to be able to play out effectively, by pressing either RB or R1 and drawing players closer to you. A really effective way to try and play out through a press. Following on from that, with tip number 3 is when you do have the ball with the centre backs, no risky passes with them. Play the simple game. Because of the fact that the team is pushing higher at the pitch, if you give the ball away as a centre-back, you're going to get countered on, and that is going to be a huge problem, something that I did find whilst testing this tactic. So it's important that with your centre-backs, you don't play any risk whatsoever. Play the simple game and just make sure you get it out so that you aren't getting hit with those counter-attacks and attacking transitions from the opposition. So with that being said, we're ready to round it off there. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out my Patreon down below to see how this tattoo ranks and rates compared to all of the other systems, with a whole host of other great perks as well. Follow me on Twitter, the link is down below in the description. And with that being said, until the next one, I've been Ash, and I will see you soon.